Daily Trust News Center. This is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight.
For English language, ladies and gentlemen, law and order. Trust Television, a round of applause.
Trust TV wins Best Television Show at Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria Award. Presidential Election Tribunal adjourns Obi's pre-hearing against Tinubu to May 19th as Labour Party faction representatives clash in court. Police recover firearms, arrest 5 suspects in connection to Tuesday killing in Plateau and denies fresh attack. And on the international scene, police exhume more bodies as death toll from Kenya cold starvation rises to 226. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Hour. I am Smaya Abubakar. And now the news in full. So Trust TV, the television arm of Media Trust Group, has won the Best Television Show English Language at the inaugural edition of the Nigeria Broadcast Awards, TNBA. Law and Order, a weekly program, edged out Channels Television's Politics Today and Arise TV morning show to win the category at the event which held in Lagos on Wednesday. Broadcast professionals and platforms were shortlisted for 19 award categories across radio and television. Trust TV earned 3 nominations with its reporters, Zainab Bala and Ibrahim Yusuf, nominated in the Newscaster of the Year television category. The station earned a nomination in the Best Television Production in Documentary in Feature English Language for its documentary titled Kidnapped. Other nominees included Channels TV, Arise TV, NTA, Silverbird TV, Liberty TV, Galaxy TV, Cool FM, and Ray Power FM.
Nominees are The Assembly, Anambra Broadcasting Service, The Morning Show, Arise News, Politics Today, Channels Television, Southwest Today, Impact Africa Television, Law and Order, Trust Television.
The winner of the Best Television Show English Language, ladies and gentlemen, Law and Order. Trust Television, a round of applause.
Amazing for Trust TV that this maiden edition of the award, we've won the Best TV Show. We had 3 nominations. The best, we were nominated for the Best Documentary Feature in English and also the Best TV Show in English, and also 2 of our presenters were nominated for the Best Newscaster. But unfortunately, we lost in the other 2, but we won in the Best TV Show. Considering the caliber of nominations that we had this year, we're quite optimistic. This is our 2nd year of operations. So this is a great win for Trust TV, and we hope that we continue to do better. We're a news and documentary channel, and we've won awards in the past, and this is a statement to the broadcast industry that Trust TV is here, and we hope to do much better next time, and we'll continue to grow from where we have been.
Congratulations to us there. Now, Trust TV is available on channel 164 on StarTimes and also broadcast on Najcomsat, Arabsat Bado 7, Lumex World TV, Free TV, Morplex 715, Avo TV, and streams live across all social media platforms. The Presidential Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Abuja on Wednesday adjourned to Friday, May 19th for continuation of pre-hearing in the petition by the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, against the President-elect Bola Tinubu. The LP National Chairman, Julius Abure, and the party's factional chairman, Lamidi Apapa, were both present in the court. The report.
The tribunal had last week adjourned the pre-hearing session. on Obi and the Labour Party's petition till May 17th at the instance of the petitioners. On Wednesday, the justices arrived to commence the day's proceedings and also refused to acknowledge the representation of the party aside from Obi. A mild drama, however, ensued between the two camps of the Labour Party on which group should be in court. The tribunal refused to take an appearance for the Labour Party as acting national chairman of the party, Lamidi Apapa, as well as the national women's leader of the party, Dudu Manugu, tried to make an appearance for the Labour Party when the petition was called.
Are you okay? No, we are here to represent you. You have to be simple. The way you approach it, are you here to represent? I know him. No, nobody knows you. Don't say that. Nobody knows you. Nobody knows you. Who are you too? Nobody knows you, sir. So why are you telling me? Why are you saying? Don't try. Don't ever try and touch me. If you dare try and touch me. Come on, go out.
Justice Aruna Tsamani noted that if two persons are making an appearance for the party, they will not be put on record.
The Labour Party, LP, has accused a breakaway group of the party led by acting national chairman Lamidi Apapa of approaching a court in Kano State to seek the nullification of the party's recent electoral victories. The LP's acting national publicity secretary, Obiora Ifo, raised the alarm in a statement on Wednesday. The party spokesman alleged that as a presidential election petitions tribunal was sitting in Abuja on Wednesday, the suspended national legal advisor and Apapa supporter Samuel Akingbade clandestinely sneaked out into Kano State. According to the statement, Oye Lekan, in the collaboration with some members of the other political parties, asked the court to invalidate all the elections won by the Labour Party, particularly the National Assembly in the 36 states and FCT, on the ground that we did not submit register of voters to INEC. Ifo went on to ask the judiciary and all law enforcement agencies, including the Police and Department of State Services, DSS, to note that Akingbade and loyalists of Apapa's had ceased to represent the party. The president-elect Bola Tinubu has promised to hit the ground running and unify the country upon assumption of office on May 29. He has also pledged to ensure positive relations with the United States. A statement by Tinubu's spokesperson Tunde Rahman said that the incoming Nigeria leader gave the assurance during a telephone conversation on Tuesday with the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. The president-elect said among his immediate priorities would be to deliver institutional reform and development programs to deepen democratic institutions and bring help to poor Nigerians. In his remarks, Secretary Blinken assured that Nigeria should expect a good and mutually beneficial relationship with the U.S. He promised to play his part in bringing a sustained and cordial relationship between the two nations to fruition, saying that a democratic and peaceful Nigeria is important to the United States as it is to Africa. The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, on Wednesday expressed bewilderment following U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken's call to the president-elect Bola Tinubu. In the call, Blinken is said to have emphasized his continued commitment to further strengthening the U.S.-Nigeria relationship with the incoming administration. However, Atiku, who emerged as the runner-up in the February 25th presidential election, described Tinubu's recognition by the American government officials as a contradiction of the assessment of the U.S. on the vote held 3 months ago. Atiku said, and I quote, "I am in disbelief that Secretary Blinken called Tinubu a contradiction to the publicly stated position of the U.S. on Nigeria's 2023 presidential election." The former vice president tweeted, "This is inconceivable considering that America, as the Bernstein of democracy, is well briefed on the sham election of February 25th. To give legitimacy to the widely acknowledged fraudulent election in Nigeria can be demoralizing to the citizens who have hedged their bet on democracy and the sanctity of the ballots." End of quote. Now, preferred candidates of the All Progressive Congress, APC, for the House of Representatives leadership, Abbas Tajuddin and Benjamin Kalu, insist they remain a formidable team to beat in the race for the 10th National Assembly. The duo, whose selection by the National Working Committee of the ruling party has stirred controversy, said their project tagged Joint Tax is anchored on the need to make the Green Chamber people-centered. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports.
There is growing resistance to the choice of the All Progressives Congress National Working Committee for the leadership of the House of Representatives. Aggrieved aspirants in the race for House leadership and other party chieftains have continued with plans to clinch the coveted seat despite the arrangement. However, the persons at the center of it all, Representatives Tajuddin Abbas and Benjamin Kalu, have been reaching out to stakeholders to market what they called a joint task for a robust 10th session of the lower legislative chamber.
It is a coloration of various political parties coming together to approach issues affecting Nigerians from their different political ideologies and philosophies. Because to provide solution to the hydra-headed needs of Nigerians, you need to have at all times a periscopic look on issues, policy direction, legislative policy interventions should have a coloration that is not just tied down to one political ideology.
Abbas Tajuddin and Benjamin Kalu, who are ranking members of the House of Representatives, insist that their choice by the leadership of the APC is not in error, as they possess the needed competence and exposure to steer the ship of the Green Chamber.
Though we are three arms of government, we are one government. So in joint tax, we join hands with the executive, we join hands with the judiciary to build a better nation. But that is not underestimating or ignoring the principles of checks and balances, as well as the expectation of the doctrines of separation of power in doing what we have pledged to do through joint attacks. The borderlines of the mandates of each arm of government must be respected.
The APC leadership and the president-elect are currently working to manage the fallout of the current National Assembly zoning arrangement. But aggrieved aspirants are insisting on a new deal, and it is not clear if efforts to douse the tension generated by the NWC's decision will be successful. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
In anticipation of the upcoming inauguration of the 10th National Assembly in June, Minister of Women Affairs Pauline Tallen is pushing for the election of a female lawmaker as the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. During her address at the launch of the 50-50 Women Advocacy Group by Women Aid Collective, WACO, in Abuja on Tuesday, Minister Tallen expressed her concern over the continued discrimination and bias faced by women in the various various aspects of their lives, including the workplace and the political sphere. Highlighting the significance of women-led advocacy and its role in shaping society, the minister acknowledged Nigerian women's unwavering commitment to advocating for social change, fighting for their rights and giving voice to the silenced. The executive director of WACO, Professor Joy Ngozi Ezelu, also addressed the gathering, explaining that the 50-50 project aims to enhance women's capabilities and equip them with the necessary knowledge and skills to champion their cause at the community and state levels. As the scramble for National Assembly leadership intensifies ahead of the inauguration of the 10th session, Nigerians are divided over the impact of the struggle on their corporate existence. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman, who spoke with a cross-section of Abuja residents, reports that the respondents also expressed mixed feelings over the controversy surrounding zoning of principal offices in the National Assembly. The report.
Scramble for leadership of the two chambers of the National Assembly, Senate and House of Representatives, is currently at the boiling point. The National Working Committee of ruling APC, which constitutes majority of lawmakers at the chambers, had settled for Senators Godwill Akpabio and Barau Jibrin and Representatives Abbas Tajuddin and Ben Kalu tickets. If people thought that decision would have dampened the intensity of the contest for the positions, they would have been so wrong. 7 other aspirants within the party disagree with the decision and have formed the G7 alliance to fight back. But how do Nigerians view this leadership struggle?
We want a correct leader that will hand over this Nigeria very well, because Nigeria people have been suffering, running from Nigeria to another country, on which we have power to develop our country. So we are praying that let God give us better leader in National Assembly that will change this country.
Since I discovered that those that make the law break the law, those that make the rule break the rule, you know. And while looking at it, you will see that the laws are not actually catching up with them.
The president is coming from the south. We expect that other positions should be shared equally so that others will feel belong.
All we want is competence. A leader that will deliver. A leader that will transform the economy. Because as we all know, even a madman on the street knows that Nigeria is not doing well.
Other political observers are skeptical about reasons behind scramble for leadership and the necessity of a zoning template, especially at the legislative arm of government.
I think the National Assembly is actually one of the best places where zoning usually should take effect, because the National Assembly is where appropriation is discussed. So funds for the development of any area is usually discussed at the National Assembly. So if leadership is zoned to a particular place, they can favor or influence the assignment of projects.
The ruling All Progressives Congress APC is battling to calm the frayed nerves as a result of its National Assembly zoning template. Opposition lawmakers, on the other hand, are waiting in the wings to cash in. The incoming president is hoping for a favorable fallout from the jostile propositions. The truth is, the race to the 10th Assembly leadership remains dicey. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The chairman, People's Democratic Party in Kaduna State, Hassan Hiet, has frowned over the suspension of the party leader and former governor of the state, Ahmed Makarfi, over alleged anti-party activities. While condemning the act and letter of suspension issued by Tudun Wada Ward of the Makarfi local government, the party chairman, Hassan Hiet, says that the process was unconstitutional and disciplinary action will be taken against the erring members.
There was nobody that played the role of Senator Ahmed Mohamed Makarfi. He was the one that led us in the campaign around the 23 local governments of the state, around all the big towns where we had town hall meetings. He led us in meetings with different interest groups, religious and cultural. And he is the one that spent his resources far above any other person to ensure the victory of the party in the last general elections. Therefore, for anybody to just wake up and say Mokerfi was involved in anti-party is, I think, is just a joke taken too far. And we feel that at this critical time, we want to tell the world who Mokerfi is and why he has been to the party, and we stand by him, and we set aside that misguided press statement because it has no effect. It is therefore null and void, and therefore should be discarded forthwith.
On security matters, the Plateau State Police Command on Wednesday debunked rumors making the rounds that gunmen again attacked 2 villages in Mangu local government area on Wednesday morning. Trust TV's Ado Musa had on Tuesday reported how gunmen attacked 2 communities of the local government, leaving several persons, including women and children, dead, and forced the government to impose curfew on the local government area. The report.
In the early hours of Wednesday, there were reports of fresh attacks, especially on social media, that there was another attack in some communities of the same Mangu local government area, where 12 people were killed on Wednesday. But reacting to the development, the spokesperson of the State Police Command, DSP Alabo Alfred, denied the report, saying no report of attack was received by the command.
As at this time, the command have not received any additional information that some communities were attacked, but I can tell you from my own standpoint, I received calls from different persons from the same Mangu local government who, due to what has happened within that particular area, are scared of possibly being attacked, of which I informed them that the Commissioner of Police, CP Bartholomew Oneka, PSC Daga, has done everything within his constitutional power to ensure that their area is safe and there should be no need for panic.
DSP Alfred further gives an update on the current situation in Mangu General area.
Of course, you know, when things like this happen, there is this fear that go around neighboring communities that we want to make it look like there is another attack. But so far, I didn't get that information. Instead, we got information of the recovery of an AK-47 rifle and arrest of 5 suspects who are presently in the custody of the STF in Jos. And we are all working together, all hands are on deck to ensure that there is no further breakdown of law and order. So we like to tell rumor mongers to please verify their information before they spread it and wait for us. We will give official statements as regards events.
Although the police is yet to give the casualty figure from the incident, the National President Mogavul Development Association, Joseph Guancat, while speaking to journalists, said the death toll from the Tuesday's attack has risen to 85 as search for missing persons continues in the affected communities. However, following the deployment of security personnel to the affected areas, heads of security agencies and Deputy Governor of the state, Sonny Theoden, had visited the affected communities to sympathize with the families of the victims. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Activities of social miscreants in Katsina, locally known as Kaurayi, have been creating worry and anxiety among residents. For over a decade, the Kaurayi groups have been unleashing reign of terror, killing and dispossessing unsuspected residents of their belongings. In recent weeks, some suspected members of the Kaurayi groups have been snatching phones and robbing residents of Katsina City. Abdullahi Yamadi has details of the report.
The activities of Kaurayi have worsened in recent times, recording their attacks, wounding and killing their victims, especially within the metropolitan area, without fear of any consequences. The most worrisome is the increasing involvement of young children into the heinous crime, robbing people, raping women in broad daylight or in the early hours of the night. Even recently, Katsina State Police Command had paraded 72 suspected members of the Kauraya groups arrested from various locations across the state. This may be the reason Governor Aminu Masari constituted a committee with a mandate of bringing the activities of the elements to an end.
The committee has been doing very well. We are able to reduce to a large extent the activities of these miscreants, especially drug abuse, and this youth that used to attack people, dispossess them of their belongings, especially handsets and what have you. So you can see, based on the outing and the array of achievements outlined, we should be grateful to God. That's why we came to brief His Royal Highness and seek for His blessing.
The Anti-Kauraya Committee is engaging all stakeholders to make their inputs on the best ways to arrest the monster without recording much casualty in the process. This same committee had successfully checked the activities of Kauraya during Salah festivities, leading to the arrest of killers of the mother of DPO Damusa, apprehended large quantity of illicit drugs, among many other successes. The above Katsina Abdulmumini Kabaru Usman attributed the menace to lack of proper prosecution of criminal elements, as well as abandoning traditional norms and values and decay in moral values. We have allowed our values to deteriorate because of some selfish reasons or interest. Issues like this can be checked through payment of levies and taxes. Our traditional system has taken care of everything, but it was neglected. The earlier we revert to it, the better. The committee is partnering with Dahiru Usman Bauchi Foundation in Katsina to rehabilitate drugs addicts and reintegration into the productive society. Observers are, however, blaming the growing menace to the negative conduct of some selfish politicians who often use and dump thugs to the detriment of the society. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday expressed condolences on the loss of lives of 2 United States Embassy officials and 2 Nigerian policemen accompanying them, following an attack by gunmen in Ogbaru local government area of Anambra State. The president's condolence message was contained in a statement on Wednesday by his senior special assistant, Garba Shehu. He equally noted that he has been briefed about the tragic killing of several persons in district of Mangu local government area of Plateau State, as well as that of several villages in Adaka village in Makodi local government area and in Ijaha community of Upper local government area of Benue State. The president said he is deeply pained to learn about these gruesome deaths. He also expressed sincere condolences to the families of the victim. Meanwhile, the United States government has said that no American citizen was affected in a Tuesday attack on its consulate staff convoy along Atani Osamale Road in Anambra State. The U.S. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby made the clarification on Wednesday. The spokesman for the Anambra State Police Command, Tobechukwu Ikenga, also said no U.S. citizen was in the convoy, though 4 persons were killed in the attack. The hoodlums murdered 2 of the PMF operatives and 2 staff of the consulate and set their bodies and vehicles ablaze. Also, the attackers on site, citing the responding joint security forces, abducted 2 police operatives, the driver of the second vehicle, and took to their heels. No U.S. citizen was in the convoy, and the incident is the latest in a series of attacks in Anambra. You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up, we'll take a look at challenges facing Benue fruit sellers. Details on this and more after the break. Stay with us.
the launching and presentation of 2 new books, State of Repair, How Muhammadu Buhari Tried to Change Nigeria for Good by Anthony Goldman, and The Legacy of Muhammadu Buhari by Senator Abu Ibrahim, is scheduled as follows. Venue, State House Conference Center, Aso Rock Villa. Date, Friday, 19th May 2023. Time, 9:30 a.m. Special guest of honor, President Commander-in-Chief Muhammadu Buhari. Chairman of the occasion, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana. Expected at the event are His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President-elect, and His Excellency Senator Kashim Shettima, the Vice President-elect. Attendance will be strictly by invitation. Announcer, Ambassador Babagana Kingibe GCON, Chairman, Organizing Committee.
Now, as part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening...
Now, looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130...
Created a Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secured are they? You can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the...
Already, if you look at England squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at...
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Hour on Trust TV, and here is a recap of our top stories. We brought you the Trust TV wins Best Television Show at Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria Award. And Presidential Election Tribunal adjourns Obi pre-hearing against Tinubu to May 19th as Labour Party and factions representatives clash in court. Now moving on to more stories. Concerned by the alleged failure of the federal government to meet its demand, the National Association of Resident Doctors has embarked on a 5-day warning strike starting from Wednesday, May 17th to Monday, May 22nd. The National Executive Council, NEC of the association, which gave the mandate of the association in a warning of the mandate of the association to proceed on a warning, had earlier issued a 2-week ultimatum on April 29, 2023 to the federal government to commence implementation of all pending agreements. As part of the agreement, the resident doctors want an immediate increment in the consolidated medical salary structure, CONMENS, to the tune of 200% of the current gross salary of doctors, withdrawal of the 5-year compulsory service bill at the National Assembly to enable access to medical license, strengthened the recruitment of health workers at health facilities across the board, and infrastructural development, as well as clearing of unpaid salaries at the state level, among other demands. The federal government, through the Minister of Labour, Chris Ngige, had described the 200% salary increment demand of the doctors as ridiculous and the 5-day warning strike unnecessary.
Priority, and I want to say that if you recall, we've not gone on strike for close to 3 years now, and I think our members have exercised some patience. That's what they feel. They have been patient enough with this government, trying to see whether many of these challenges can be resolved without having to go on strike. And in fact, they are believing that maybe that was a mistake, because for these 3 years, these things have not been addressed. And that is what has brought us to this unfortunate end. And people have to know that the warning strike was a compromise decision. We had the option of going on indefinite strike, but we considered Nigerians who incidentally we feel this fight is for them, because they are the ones accessing this facility. They are seeing that it is becoming increasingly more difficult to access healthcare, to see your doctors, to see the nurses, because nobody, many people have left. You now have one doctor doing the work of many. In our accident and emergency department all over the country, where you need to have 10 doctors, you have 1. And of course, people are dying from this. So we want the government to address this challenge. They should improve on the condition of service so that our doctors will stay here. So this warning strike is for 5 days. And after the 5 days, our members have said that we have to come back and review. And if no progress has been made, nobody should blame NAD if we end up with an indefinite strike.
The federal government says about 162,060 hypertension cases were diagnosed as at April 18, 2023, under the National Hypertension Control Initiative. The Minister of Health, Dr. Osagie Ehanire, who disclosed this at a press briefing on Wednesday to commemorate the World Hypertension Day, added that over 1 million episodes of blood pressure checks were conducted in 2022, while 43,000 new cases were detected. The report.
The burden of hypertension has been disproportionately more in low and middle-income countries in recent decades, with Nigeria making up the list of countries burdened by cases. This is due to the increase in the prevalence of risk factors such as tobacco use, physical inactivity, unhealthy diet, and harmful alcohol consumption.
In Nigeria, hypertension is a major public health challenge as it is the #1 non-communicable disease. It is estimated about 28 million Nigerians are living with hypertension, and more than half are undiagnosed because most people are unaware that their BP is elevated. As a result, they are likely to present at a health facility only when complications set in.
The Minister of Health, Osagie Ehanire, who was represented by the Director of Public Health, Dr. Alex Oko, stressed that the significant burden is further worsened by the high proportion of persons that are unaware of their conditions, putting them at risk of avoidable medical complications and death.
That public awareness creation, education, routine screening at every opportunity, early detection and diagnosis, counseling and prompt provision of standard treatment and care are essential elements for hypertension control, prevention and control. Otherwise, hypertension can lead to fatal complications such as heart disease, heart failure, stroke, blindness, chronic kidney failure, and dementia.
As part of efforts to curb its prevalence, in 2019, the Federal Ministry of Health, in collaboration with the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, the World Health Organization Country Office, and Resolve to Save Lives, launched the National Hypertension Control Initiative with the main objective of strengthening public health centers to provide hypertension services such as awareness creation, education, screening, early detection, quality treatment, care and support, including referral. The initiative, according to the minister, improved the blood pressure control rate from less than 20% at the start of the project to almost 30%.
In response to the high burden of hypertension in Nigeria, the federal government over the years had instituted several strategic interventions at the tertiary, secondary, and primary healthcare levels with the target of screening at least 80% of the eligible population and placing 80% of people with hypertension.
The Healthy Heart Africa program that was launched in August 2022 included additional public health centers to provide hypertension prevention, treatment and care services under the program. But experts say adequate control measures must be put in place to reduce the burden of cardiovascular diseases in the country. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The federal government has commenced the payment of salary arrears to lecturers in the Department of Basic Medical Sciences, Basic Clinical Sciences and Medicine across some federal universities. The lecturers are under the Nigerian Association of Medical and Dental Academics, one of the two splinter groups licensed by the government to reduce the influence of the Academic Staff Union of universities. The government had in 2022 implemented a no work no pay rule against lecturers for 7 months due to the strike embarked upon by the ASU. Efforts to get the government to pay the lecturers the withheld salaries for the duration of the strike by ASU proved abortive. But the Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria, a body which encompasses medical doctors in the academics and other consultant medical doctors, explained to the government that medical schools were not shut down during the period of the strike, hence the salaries of their members should not be withheld. A source from the Nnamdi Azikiwe University confirmed that medical lecturers have been paid their withheld salaries. The tanker drivers have blocked the Minna-Bida road to protest alleged police brutality. Report says that the police on patrol along the Minna-Suleja road trailed one of the drivers from Paiko to Pakungo roundabout, where the driver who was involved in accident tried to escape. Eyewitnesses said a police van was damaged during the incident. When Trust TV arrived to the scene, the driver of the tanker was said to have already been detained at the Pakungu police station, but his assistant Abubakar Adamu alleged that police demanded money from his boss in Paiko, about 15 kilometers to Minna. Adding while the police demanded 1,000 naira, they offered the officers 500 naira, which the officers rejected. He explained that the accident occurred because the police was chasing them on a one-way lane because they had no other money to give them. The Niger Police Command is yet to confirm of the incident.
As the nature is the order, the GRA commander is here, the Pakungo division commander is also here, and they try to put things in order. And the trader union of drivers also, they are also here to see how the situation will become. So far, so the issue is a little bit relevant.
Okay, really, you know, please tell us what is the major reason why they follow them for Paiko?
Yes, they try to stop the vehicle for inspection. Why the driver decided maybe they want to collect the big sound ransom. Now take the way from Paiko down to this place, and which they have to follow him and the man met him here.
Okay, now we see the motor, especially that one where they the tire don't get flat.
Yes.
Say an accident in there for that place that we
No, the thing, but what they find the park and close the road. When he came, he now stood there. So he didn't know that there is a stone there, so he entered the stone by himself.
A yet-to-be-identified motorcyclist has been brutalized by policemen attempting to seize his motorcycle around Ogundele Street or Jaoba in the Abule Egba area of Lagos State. The motorcyclist, it was gathered, was going to a destination in the area when the policemen accosted him. The reason the policemen accosted the motorcyclist could not be ascertained as of the time of filing this report, but during the attempt to seize his motorcycle, the motorcyclist resisted. Angered by the action of the motorcyclist, the three policemen were seen in a 45-second video clip recorded by an eyewitness descending on the motorcyclist in a bid to seize the motorcycle. In the video clip posted on Wednesday by a Twitter handle at Agrinas, one of the policemen was seen using a stick to beat the motorcyclist who was bent on recovering his motorcycle from them. Blood was seen gushing out of the head of the motorcyclist while the three policemen fled the scene of the incident with the motorcycle. The Lagos State Police Command has arraigned a resident, Olufunmilayo Brioluwa, for assaulting a police officer. The command spokesperson, Benjamin Hundeyin, disclosed this in a Twitter post on Tuesday. According to Hundeyin, Briolua assaulted the police officer at the Ogumbo area of the state. She was remanded at the Kirikiri Correctional Facility till June 6th, when the case comes up again in court. This is coming after Afrobeat singer Seun Kuti was arrested and taken to a magistrate's court in Yaba for a similar offense. The court granted Kuti bail on Tuesday, and he is expected to meet his bail conditions within 48 hours. Benue State, also known as the food basket of the nation, is reputed for cultivating fruits such as mangoes, oranges, pineapple, watermelon and pears, amongst others, on a large scale. Now, despite the abundance of fruits in the state, it has no fruit juice processing company, a situation that leaves most fruits that are not sold or consumed within a short period to get damaged. Jamie Atzande was at the popular railway fruits market in Makurdi, from where he files in this report on the plight of some fruit sellers. The report.
Traders at this market feel the government is not doing enough to help ordinary people like fruit farmers in the state, as they are yet to feel the presence of any government in the market.
Mango, as you see, that is a very good business. Our challenge where we say we suffer for this place, we never get person where we come. You see at this market, the market gets small. And you see, we never get, if if we can get government wey go come help us. Like say we get company wey go help us dey do like fruit juice. Wey go help us like this, wey go dey do fruit juice ba. See as our mango dey rot ba. Is it good? And we get our government wey go help us.
Some of the traders said with rising transportation costs, the fruit business has become quite challenging in recent times. They appeal for intervention from the authorities.
Stay along in this market past 5 years, so that as we do this business before, the business is good like that. So as the transportation is too much now. Only things the people where they get this money inside this business is people where get motor, because the motor they take all the money. That is, and now like this, especially if you buy the watermelon, some spot is lost men from inside the business, and you will buy some not right, and sometimes you will buy and make people rush buy. So that is how the business they no be every time they get. Sometimes you will do loss, sometimes you will do get that.
Many are of the opinion that if the government cannot provide storage facilities or establish a processing plant to cater for the large harvest from people in the fruit value chain, it can at least assist through policies and incentives for the traders.
If the government can improve and strategize on way of collecting tax so that it will no longer be multiple taxation, it will also encourage the sector. And they need support to build their own factories, their processing units, their machines that can help them in processing and adding value to some of the things that they do.
The traders are unhappy that most of the fruits at the market are wasting due to lack of patronage and the absence of processing plants in Benue State. Although it is argued that government has no business in business, it can, through the right policies, support and encourage individuals to invest in that sector. This will go a long way in curtailing the volume of wastages incurred annually.
Nestle Nigeria PLC says it recorded a 45% operating profit growth in the last 5 years of its operations in Nigeria. The company also said it recorded a 22% increase in operating profits between 2021 to 2022. It disclosed this at the 54th annual general meeting of the company held in Lagos on Wednesday. The report.
Addressing shareholders and other stakeholders of the company, the chairman of Nestle Nigeria PLC, David Ifezulike, said the directors recommend the payment of a final dividend of 36 naira 50 kobo per share, having earlier declared an interim dividend of 25 naira from the profit of 2022 on the issued share capital of 792,656,252 ordinary share of 50 kobo each. He added that the proposed final dividend of 36 naira 50 kobo is from the after-tax profit for the year ended 31st December 2022. And the company's financial highlights, Ifezulike maintained that revenue for 2022 stood at 446,819,216 naira, while that of 2021 was 351,822,329 naira, representing a 27% increase. He added that declared dividends stood at 40,029,141 naira for 2022, while that of 2021 was 47,955,703 naira. On the issue share capital, 2022 accounted for 396,328, while 2021 had 396,328, increase, decrease 0%.
We will think about the interest of the consumer from the safety aspect and how it's delightful to you. So Nestle in Nigeria has also been trying to do as much as possible using all the local ingredients we can find here. Okay, we've changed from using wheat to using a lot of maize and getting local protein from soya, and we changed from using barley malt to using sorghum malt. We changed from using butter oil to using local palm oil, refined though. And this we do by trying to look how to train the people who are providing and supplying us the local ingredients as well.
Profit before income tax increasing from 61,875,342 for 2021 to 71,109,371 for 2022. Shareholders are positive that the company will remain afloat in the years to come.
The youths are okay. Nation is moving forward. Crime will be less. Good things will come in. The country will develop. I can see the scholarships you're giving for the youth. I can see the employment that you have done for the youth. Mr. Chairman, I commend you. It's a very big feat on the role that you have played in the youth.
Nestle Nigeria is one of the largest food companies in Africa and has over its 61 years of existence been delighting consumers across Nigeria by consistently delivering high-quality, nutritious food.
Now let's join Chiamaka Warfo for the business news.
Latest data from the Central Bank of Nigeria has revealed that the federal government's debt service to revenue ratio rose to 111.8% in 2022. This is according to the CBN's 2022 statistical survey data, where most of the country's fiscal and monetary-based data is reported. The debt service to revenue ratio looks at the ability of a country's revenue to cover its debt service obligations. According to the information contained in the data, the government spent 5.65 trillion naira on debt servicing while only earning about 5 trillion naira in 2022. This is the highest debt service to revenue ratio recorded in Nigeria's recent history, topping the 96% recorded in 2021. Data from the Debt Management Office indicate Nigeria's total public debt as of December 2022 is 49 trillion naira, without including the Ways and Means, which is estimated at 22.8 trillion naira. The Nigeria Extractives Industry Transparency Initiative, NAITI, has said that Nigeria made only $1.4 billion from solid minerals in 13 years. The Executive Secretary of NAITI, Ogbonna, said this at the launch of the initiative's 2022-2026 strategic plan in Abuja. The strategic plan is a direct response to the issues of the global energy transition, contract transparency and government partnerships. According to Dr. Orji, the solid mineral sector has huge potential and could become an important contributor to Nigeria's GDP. Finally, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, says the depreciation of sub-Saharan African currencies against the US dollar pushes up public debt stock. This is contained in the Global Lender's recent blog post titled "African Currencies Are Under Pressure Amid Higher for Longer US Interest Rates." Countries in sub-Saharan Africa include Nigeria, Angola, Kenya, South Africa, Ghana, Chad, Ethiopia, and others. IMF said weaker currencies make the fight to curb inflation harder, given sub-Saharan Africa's dependence on imports. The Bretton Woods Institution said countries in the region have recorded an average of 8% depreciation of their currencies since January 2022. IMF, however, said the extent varies by country, adding that Ghana's cedi and Sierra Leone depreciated by more than 45%. On the implications, the IMF said when currencies weaken against the US dollar, local prices rise, as much of what people buy, including essential items like food, are imported. And that's it on Business News. I am Chiamaka Warfo.
Thank you, Chiamaka Warfo, for that report. And now moving to the foreign scene. The death toll in the probe into a Kenyan cult suspected of urging followers to starve themselves to death rose to 226 on Wednesday after 15 more bodies were found, the authorities said. Investigators are searching the forest hideout of a group called the Good News International Church, located near the Indian Ocean town of Malindi. Its founder, Paul Nthenge Mackenzie, a taxi driver turned preacher, is accused of inciting followers to fast to death to meet Jesus. Regional Commissioner Rhoda Onyancha said following Wednesday's exercise, 14 bodies were exhumed and 1 was found in the forest. Another person was found alive by emergency teams, she said. So far, 112 autopsies have been carried out, most of which show that the individual died of hunger, investigations say. Others, including children, show signs of having been strangled, beaten, or suffocated. A sad one there. Now let's join Adeni Ajishafe for sports news.
No fewer than 21 states or the Federation have indicated interest to participate in National Cycling Road Championship holding in Port Harcourt on Sunday. Technical Director of Cycling Federation of Nigeria, Bashir Mohammed, who disclosed these on Tuesday, said all participating states are allowed 6 cyclists per category in the one-day championship. Each state is allowed to register at most 6 cyclists for each of the 4 categories to be competed for. Mohammed said, adding that if a state is participating in the 4 categories, that means it will have 24 cyclists in all. President Cycling Federation of Nigeria, Gian Domenico Massari, had earlier disclosed that the 4 finishers in both the elite men and women will receive 600,000 naira each, while their counterparts in the men and women juniors will earn 300,000 naira each. The categories are men elite, who are expected to ride 132 kilometers, women elite, and men junior, who will both ride 88 kilometers, as well as women junior, who are to ride 44 kilometers within Port Harcourt metropolis. And in weightlifting, 2 Nigerian weightlifters have won 6 more medals at the ongoing 2023 Senior African Weightlifting Championship in Tunisia, which also serve as Olympic 2024 qualifiers, after Joy Eze Ogbone won 3 silver and Gideon Mofia won a silver and 2 bronze medals. Competing in 71 kilogram women category, Eze lifted 102 kilos in snatch, 125 in clean and jerk, and 227 kilos in total to claim all the silver medals. Eze finished second in the 3 event behind Egyptian side Neema, who lifted a total of 229 kilograms to win the 3 gold on offer, while Katie Lent of Mauritius finished third with 3 bronze medals with a combined lift of 97 kg. Edidion Gumofia won silver in 73 kilogram men's snatch and 2 bronze medals in the clean and jerk. Nigeria so far won a total of 12 medals comprising of 3 gold, 7 silver and 2 bronze at the ongoing Senior African Weightlifting Championship in Tunisia with 4 weightlifters. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
Thank you, Adeni Ajishafe. And with that, we have come to the end of Trust TV News Hour. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.